Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So it is the end of 2022, which means we're due for some more tier ranking videos. Now, I know last year I did one for all the books that I read in the year, but this year I'm not actually going to do that because I read twice as many books this year as I did last year. So we're not going to do a tier ranking of all the books I read, but we are going to do one for all the movies and all of the TV shows I've binged and watched throughout the year. So this one obviously is going to be all the movies I watched this year. Some of them, there are going to be a couple that were carried over from 2021 because they were probably like, they came out like near the endish of the year, or they were movies that I was excited about and I really wanted to watch, but just maybe didn't get to them until early this this year. Hopefully this works. I was trying to set up. I use Twitch Studio to actually record instead of using like my vlogging camera and then like screen recording my screen. I use my webcam and then record the screen like if I were doing a Twitch stream. So I was having an issue with getting it to what do you call it, screen share my external monitor that I use for doing this, so I see both my like the video and how it's working, and then I can see like the screen to actually do this tier ranking. But for some reason it wasn't cloning right. So hopefully this works. I think I got it to work. If not, I'll have to find a different way to do it. But Amber's gonna join us. It looks like, and she's gonna be laying there in the back. Okay. So yeah, so this is all, again, this is my personal opinion. Some of you might have really liked these movies. It has nothing to do with any of you. We all have our own opinions. I'm just going to preface that. Let's get into it. So I'm going to see if I can get the screen to work. Fingers crossed that this properly. Oh, okay, we got it. So as you can see, we have our 5 tiers. Now, when I did this last year, I only did 4 for movies. It was my first time ever doing a tier ranking. Clearly, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so I'm hopefully getting the hang of it now. Of course, we have our top tier is the red carpet ready. These are the movies that I think deserve to win awards. I loved them. They were my favorites. Next one down is okay, I see you. So it wasn't necessarily my number one favorite of the year, but it was still really, really good. And like I can understand the hype surrounding it. And if it got like award nods, I would understand why. Good but not great. These were fine. I enjoyed them for what they were, but nothing really to write home about. I may even have gotten like they were probably forgettable, a lot of them, especially if they were at the beginning of the year. I wanted more, so this one was, it was there. There was missing something, or I wanted more out of it. I had higher expectations than what was given to me. And then of course the last one is no, just no. These were the failures, the ones I hated, the ones that I regret spending the time, not regret spending the time watching, but like maybe want the hour and a half, 2 hours back watching them. So all of these ones listed on the bottom here are in the order in which I watched them, not necessarily the order in which they came out. Some of them I watched around the time when they were released, especially if it was in theaters. A couple of these maybe came, I have a local small local independent theater not far from me at all, and sometimes they get movies a little bit after maybe they've been out already. So I think one of them, Coda, I believe, is actually a movie that came out like in 2021, but my theater didn't get it until after all the hype surrounding it brought it into town, so I didn't get to watch it till 2022. But yeah, so some of these I watched in theaters. Some of these were obviously on Netflix, Prime Video, Paramount Plus, whatever. If I remember where I watched them, I'll let you guys know. But let's get into it. So the first one is a carryover from 2021, and that is Being the Ricardos. This is the story of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz. Lucille Ball played by Nicole Kidman, Desi Arnaz played by Javier Bardem, who did a really fantastic job, by the way, of playing Desi Arnaz. So this is kind of surrounding the making of I Love Lucy, which is one of my favorite shows. This was enjoyable. I think the actors did a fantastic job in it. They even captured like the animosity between Vivian Vance and Fred. I can't remember his real name in real life, but I know they had clashing, and the age difference with them was like a huge thing too. It was really enjoyable. I don't know if I'd say red carpet ready, but I'd say, okay, I see you. I love stories based on like real things, especially when it's real people and situations that I'm familiar with and enjoy. So next we have Home Team. This is another one that was based on true events. I think this was I can't remember what year it was, but this was about the Saints, the New Orleans Saints, I think, coach, and the whole scandal surrounding him. And when he goes home to coach his, I think his estranged son's football team. So this was enjoyable. It was good. Not the greatest thing I ever watched. It was interesting. I'm not familiar with that whole scandal that went on, but it was interesting to kind of get a little bit of an inside peek about it. Next was Cop Shop. So this was another one that carried over, I believe, from 2021. I think it came out in like the fall of 2021, but I didn't get to watch it till early this year. And this is one of those movies that I watched strictly for the actor in it. I love Gerard Butler. There's another movie on here that I watched just because he was in it. He doesn't have, so the peak Gerard Butler time, in my opinion, it was in like 2009 when he did like Gamer and Law Abiding Citizen, and like those were like the peak Gerard Butler movies. I actually really like the Fallen series with him. The third one was so far my favorite one. I know they're doing a fourth one, and I feel like they're kind of trying to stretch out the franchise a little bit. But anyway, that's not what this is about. This is about Cop Shop. I vaguely remember that this is like they're in a prison and he's trying to get something. I don't even remember. He's like a bounty hunter or something. I can't remember what the hell he is. Obviously, it was entertaining for what it was. I wanted more from it. I usually want more from Gerard Butler movies, to be honest, because they're kind of it's a lot of action and like him beating up people and not a lot of anything else. But I'm not entirely mad about it because I'm literally just there to watch him. So Marry Me was the other one. This one is, so this one, then there's a new movie coming out with, it had like a similar theme not a similar theme, but like a similar vibe with Jennifer Lopez like getting married and like they're part of some kind of murder plot. I don't know what the new movie is called, but I was just like, didn't she just have a movie where she was like getting married? I don't know. But this one is Jennifer Lopez, where she's like this pop star, and Owen Wilson is a like regular old teacher, and she finds out her fiance is she's supposed to get married on stage at a concert, and her fiance cheats on her with her assistant, I think, and she ends up marrying Owen Wilson's character on stage in front of everybody. It was fun for what it was. It was It was fun. I say it was good. It wasn't great. Was it better than Cop Shop? Yes, in terms of hallmarky feel good plot. Next we have the 355. This one was really good, actually. Not really good, but like it reminded me kind of Ocean's 8 a little bit, where we have all of these different women who are part of like, I don't know if it's like the CIA and like MI5 and like whatever their country's specific thing is. And I honestly don't remember a lot of it. I remember there's a lot of powerhouse women being badass women in this, and it was really interesting. So I liked all the people in it. Um, I think I'm gonna go good, not great. Yeah. Okay. Fun fact about the Adam Project. I watched this drunk. Like I had drank a bottle. I was drinking a bottle of wine as I was watching this movie, and then texting my friends to come take me to get tacos. So I do have memories of this movie, but I don't like it's kind of like a blur. I just remember he goes as he goes back in time and meets his younger self, and like there's a whole thing. I don't know. I don't even want to rank this because I feel bad because I wasn't fully paying attention to it. I don't even know where to put this. Should I say it was? I don't know. Like my friend cried watching it, and I'm just like, no, I didn't. I do have to say the kid in this though was really really good. I think he plays in the new Percy Jackson. He plays Percy Jackson at like age appropriate. Not that I love Logan Lerman. I like Logan Lerman in the original Percy Jackson movies, but like this kid's more age appropriate for the book character. Anyway, put it in Wanted More, maybe? I'm gonna put Wanted More. That one, I don't even know. I want to just like take it off because, again, I feel like I'm not doing it a proper justice, I guess. Okay, Morbius. I'm not even gonna like this movie was awful. I didn't care. He's like a fucking vampire or something. I don't even know. This is part of the MCU. I think it's MCU that I like don't necessarily care about. Like this is on the level of Let There Be Carnage for me. I like the original Venom, the first Venom. But if you watched my tier ranking last year, I put Let There Be Carnage like down in the bottom because I wasn't a fan and I didn't care about this one. And I'm not a fan of Jared Leto either, even though I really liked, like, he's a really good actor. And I like to, like, he's versatile, but I didn't care. And I was like, I'm glad I didn't pay for this movie. Okay, next is one of the ones that I've saw twice. So, Secret to Dumbledore, Fantastic Beasts #3. Sorry, I'm like slouching. Secret to Dumbledore. So here's my thing. I was really, really excited for this movie. I love Jude Law. I like Jude Law, the choice of Jude Law as young Dumbledore. I really enjoyed him in the second Fantastic Beasts. This movie, as much as I loved seeing more and more of Jude Law and him being the prominent character and getting his story of Dumbledore, it was lacking for me. I don't, it didn't have the same feel as the other movies, if that makes any sense. Like, I think it's kind of like, it gets a little bit of the Harry Potter thing where it gets darker as the series goes on. But like with Harry Potter, it just got better as the series went on. Then again, I read the books before I watched any of the Harry Potters, and there are no books necessarily that go along with the Fantastic Beasts franchise. So you kind of have to go in not knowing what's going to happen next. So there isn't really any expectation or anticipation for things happening. So I don't know how, like, I did I want more from it? Yes, but it was still really, I mean, I went to see it twice. I went to see it once by myself and I think once with friends. So, and I know when I first saw it, I was like raving about it, like it was so good. But the longer it's been, the further I get away from it, the more I critically I'm thinking on it, and it doesn't have the same vibe as the other movies. I just I know Dumbledore was always a gay, like we all knew Dumbledore was gonna be gay. Uh, I don't know how I feel about I don't care that he's gay, like that's fine, but his relationship with Grindelwald, I don't know how I feel about that particular, like, would you call it, ship, I guess? I don't know. And I don't know, like I know there was also the whole Johnny Depp thing with Amber Heard, like he was fired from the franchise. This is going to be a controversial opinion, but I am not a huge Johnny Depp fan to begin with. So it didn't really bother me that he was pulled from the franchise. I mean, yes, the reason behind it was bullshit, but in my opinion, I didn't care. The only thing I really have liked him in is Pirates of the Caribbean. But other than that, I don't really care for him all that much. So Mads Mikkelsen taking over his was fine. Like it didn't bother me at all. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna say good not great for this one too, because I feel like it was better than these two for sure. Um, so I think it's gonna sit there for now. Coda. Okay, this is the one that my little theater got like months after it. I think it was after all of the hype, the awards hype that it got. Coda, absolutely. I don't know what awards it won. I'm pretty sure it won a few. This was a fantastic movie. I don't know if you know what Coda is. It stands for I think child of deaf adults, child, something like that. I forget. It stands for something, but it is a fantastic movie. It has Marley Matlin, I think is her name, who is deaf, or like I don't know if she's entirely deaf in real life. Like all of the actors who play deaf characters are deaf in real life. I think even the director of this movie was deaf. And it's about the daughter of deaf parents who is hearing, and she is wants to be like a singer and go to, I think, I don't know, it was Juilliard or some kind of music school, and her parents are kind of like, well, we can't enjoy it with you, so why would you want to do this if we can't hear it or hear you sing? Like, are you even any good? And then she has her music teacher who kind of helps her along, and it's a really, really, and I think they work on their livelihood is through commercial fishing, I believe, and they have to have a hearing person on the boat at all times, and it's a very, very good movie. I highly recommend it if you have a chance to find it anywhere. I don't know if it's out anywhere online, but definitely this movie was phenomenal, and I actually want to watch it again because it was so good. Okay, The Lost City. This was just such a guilty pleasure movie with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, with a little bit of cameo from Brad Pitt, which was great. This was like a spoof on the romance community, pretty much. It's like she's a romance author. He plays her like cover model. Like, he's the cover model for her like historical romances, and there's even scenes of them doing a photo shoot with his like fake flowing wig. It's great. It's a spoof and kind of making fun of the romance genre, but not really, because it's just kind of how it is. Like, it's a spoof of like, everyone always says the romance genre is like, not, no one takes it seriously, and it's just like, it's not like real literature and whatever. And it's a good movie. It's a fun time. Daniel Radcliffe plays the villain, which was fun. This is definitely okay. See, I don't think it's award worthy for sure, but it was a good fun time. I definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it yet. It's funny. Downton Abbey, A New Era. This was another one. No, this I didn't see this one twice, but it is now available on, I think it's on Prime now. You can watch it. I so remember what last summer is when I watched. So I remember talking about this before. I saw the first Downton Abbey movie before I watched the entire show, the series, because my mom was a big Downton Abbey fan and wanted to go. So I took her to go see the movie, and I enjoyed the movie. But it wasn't until that, like, last summer, that I watched the series in its entirety and really, really fell in love with it. I watched it again, uh, rewatched it again before this movie came out, and the movie as well, so that I was prepared for it. And I enjoyed this. There was, because it's two different storylines. You have them filming a movie at Downton Abbey, and then you also have the other storyline where they go to a villa in the south of France, and you learn about Violet's kind of mysterious love affair past that she had. And it's also pretty much the closing of a chapter. I don't necessarily know if they're gonna ever do another movie because of the way this one ends. It kind of is a nice closure to the series, which is kind of upsetting because it's such a great franchise. But I could see if it's kind of just like, this is it, like, we're done now. But this was, I also feel like this was lacking in the same vibes as the rest of the series and even the first movie, because I think it's because we're taken out of the Abbey for half of it and sent somewhere else. Um, I still really enjoyed it though. Like, I enjoyed seeing all the characters again. Um, but if they want to put it in good, not great, I think it's just doesn't meet the hit the bar for the other ones and for the series as a whole, fortunately. Oh, Top Gun Maverick. This is another one I saw twice. I think this is the only other movie I saw twice. Once in theaters by myself and once with friends, because it was amazing. This is going up here. It was fantastic. Now, say what you want about Tom Cruise. He's not my favorite person in the world, but the guy can act, and the guy can put together an action sequence like nobody's business. Like, he is a freaking machine. He can fly these planes, except because they're not the military grade ones, because obviously it's a military aircraft and he is not military, but he can fly jets, he can fly helicopters. The guy can do freaking everything. Um, the cast is really good. There's great homages to the original movie, which I watched again before I went to see this, just to get a refresher. So we have flashbacks to the original movie. I don't think you necessarily have to see the original movie to watch this one, because you do get the flashbacks and you do get to the storyline, but I think it would be a lot better. It would be more, you get all the Easter eggs, and I think it'd be more impactful to watch the first one before this one. But especially because of the character of Rooster and who he is in relation, he has a connection to someone in the first film. It was amazing. The flight sequence scenes are fantastic where he's training everyone. It's so good. The soundtrack is really good. I know everyone is saying that the Lady Gaga's theme song that she did for this movie kind of isn't related. They don't think it's related to the context of the movie. Doesn't matter. It's still a banger of a theme and fantastic. This movie is great. Go watch it. I want to watch it again. It's already on Amazon Prime. I think it's Prime or Paramount Plus. I think Downton Abbey was Paramount Plus as well. I think on Prime you have to pay to rent it, but it's available to watch both of them on Paramount Plus. You have that. If not, pay to rent for Top Gun or buy it. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay, next one is Jerry and Marge Go Large. This was, I think one of my friends at work recommended this movie to me. I think it's also based on true events. He is some kind of I don't know if he's a retired teacher of like mathematics or something, and he like figures out there's a glitch in one of the state's lottery games, and he figures out how to win big in this game because of the glitch that's in it. He figures out like the pattern or whatever. And then someone else, I think it's MIT, some college kids at MIT also figure out the glitch in the game, and then they butt heads and try to win all of the money all the time. And they get other townspeople in like putting in their money to buy tickets and to print out the tickets and everything like that. And then they split the cost and to get repairs done in town and whatever. And then of course the MIT kids are just a bunch of college kids reaping the rewards, and then they eventually find out about each other and clash and blackmail each other. And it's an interesting movie. It's a fun movie. I don't know if I would be, I, I don't know, good but not great. I mean, it wasn't, I'm going to put it here. It was interesting. It was an interesting movie to watch, for sure. I wouldn't put it up Okay, I See You because I don't think it was better than these two movies, but it was still really interesting, and I would recommend it if you had interest in it. Next is Operation Mincemeat. This is the one that I was interested in, and I kind of just watched it because I wanted something to watch. It was one of those moments where I was making dinner, eating dinner, and wanted something to watch while I ate dinner, so I put it on. Again, based on true events during World War II, which is an actual Operation Mincemeat, where they took a cadaver and dropped him in the ocean to hopefully, and he would wash up on the shore with fake documents to distract the Germans and put them in a wrong direction, get them out of the way so they could invade. I forget where they were invading, but and it was like a successful thing. So it's based on true events. Really interesting. Great cast of characters. Great cast in general. Colin Firth, Jason Isaacs, Kelly MacDonald. I think Gary Oldman's in it. There's a bunch of great people in this. I think this is going to be here again. But it was captivating to watch. It was just interesting. I think it was interesting for me because of my history. Like I love historical movies, especially accurate ones. So, I don't know. Okay. Love and Gelato. So this was I actually read this book by Jenna Evans Welch several years ago. I was really, really excited for this movie. It was cute. I'm going to put this in wanted more because I kind of think I'm kind of like out of this age range now of YA romance, YA whatever, contemporary YA. I don't really read it a whole lot anymore. I do still have because I don't know if they're going to make the other movies. I know there's other books in this like series. There's spin-offs. There's Love and Gelato, Love and Luck, and then which is her friend. I can't remember. Her friend in this movie has her own when she goes to Ireland. And then I got a Love and Olives, which I haven't read yet, but it's like super thick. So I don't know. Well, it was enjoyable for the age range that it was meant to be for. Okay, Uncharted. This was one that, again, another one that I was like, I was interested in going to see, didn't end up going to see in theaters, was looking for something to watch while I ate dinner, whatever, and put it on. It was fine. I enjoyed the cast of characters. I enjoyed seeing Tom Holland in something that was not Spider-Man, even though I love him as Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong; he's my favorite Spider-Man. But it was nice to see him in some another like more adult for his age role, because I know Spider-Man, he's supposed to be in high school or something, and he is like in his mid-20s. So this was a more age appropriate role for him. And I just think it's funny that he is with Mark Wahlberg in this movie, because I remember watching an interview with them together on the Graham Norton show, like way before they had ever worked together, and it was just interesting to see them actually do a movie together. And again, this is based on a video game that I never played before, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. I know it's based on like Uncharted 2 or something. Like there's parts of the different video games in it. So it was fine. I don't good, not great. Put it there, I guess. Sure. Next we have Dog, with another Channing Tatum movie with his Belgian Malinois. This one is where his friend is killed, and he has to take the family wants his dog at the funeral, so he on a road trip with the dog. It was interesting. The poor dog has PTSD. Oh, it was good. Like it was a good movie. It was fun. I mean, it was fun. It was sad. It was just, who doesn't love a movie about a dog? Like, come on. Okay, Halloween Ends. Again, another movie I was super hyped about. I liked. I really liked the first Halloween, not like the first one, but the new trilogy, the first Halloween of this trilogy, and then it just declined from there. This one, I wanted more from it. I mean, this is the end of the franchise. The end. I The final showdown between Laurie and Michael was lackluster, in my opinion. And the whole thing with the freaking protege, I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. The protege and Allison was very disappointing and upsetting to me, where they went with Allison's character and how she was with this fucking guy. Like, it was annoying to me. I didn't like it. I'm not putting it in the bottom just because I still have, I don't know. Maybe it should just go down to the bottom because it wasn't great. It had so much potential, in my opinion. It had so much potential of places where it could go, and then this is what happened. And I'm just gonna be, I don't know. Okay, like, I'm glad what they kind of did what they did, because it ended. I think it just ended the franchise. And if they try to reboot it again, I'm gonna be upset, because I think it's done. It's buried. Let it die. Okay, we're just gonna leave it like that. Okay, next we have Last Seen Alive again, and this is the other Gerard Butler movie I watched just because Gerard Butler was in it. I actually watched this when it came out on, I think it was on Netflix or something, or whatever it was on. This is the one with him and, I can't remember her name, his wife. She goes like missing. They are in the middle of a divorce, about to get a divorce. He's taking her to her mom's house or something. They stop at a gas station and she gets kidnapped. And the whole entire movie is him trying to find her, and that's all I remember about it, pretty much. I think he finds like a drug, whatever. I honestly, I don't know. This, I didn't have high expectations going in, because I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, it's another one of these movies. Um, I'm gonna say I wanted more from it, because I love Gerard Butler. I, again, watch anything he's in. Same as Henry Cavill. I watch anything either of them are in. But it had potential that wasn't met, pretty much. Okay, Firestarter. This was another one that this was a remake also from Stephen King's Firestarter, which I think the original was 70, was it 70 something or 80 something, with a very young Drew Barrymore, but this one is with Zac Efron and I can't remember the girl's name. But this is the first role where we get to see Zac Efron as a daddy, and we stand Daddy Zac. And I'm sorry, it's getting super dark in here. The sun is going down and it's cloudy, but um, I just saw myself in the camera and I'm like, it's getting really dark. Anyway, we stand Zac Efron as a daddy. This movie, again, I wanted more from it. I didn't see the original, so I can't really compare it, but it just felt like it was missing something. There was and I never read, I don't know, I'm assuming this was a book. I never read the book. Um but I'm just feeling like it was very self-contained. Like it didn't, there wasn't a lot going, not going for, but like, and then there's a scene toward the end that I was like, what is happening? I was very confused by it at first, and I thought it was like gonna happen. I thought one thing was gonna happen, and then it didn't happen, and I was very upset by it. So yeah, I was not exactly what I was wanting from it. And it was just a movie that I put on just to, and wanted something to watch. So all right, now we're getting into the Christmas time. These are the movies I watched within the last month, so I didn't really watch anything all in all through November apparently. So I watched Firestarter like around Halloween. I was in Alabama when I watched Firestarter. So these last ones I watched within the last couple weeks. The first one being Something from Tiffany's. This was on Amazon Prime. This is with Zoe Dutch. I can never say her last name right. And someone else, I didn't know who the actor was. So she is a baker and a chef, and she thinks she's going to get engaged. I can't remember what the hell. So this one and About Fate have kind of similar vibes. This is why I'm going to get them, probably hopefully not get them confused. But so her fiance and our hero, this guy here, go to Tiffany's at the same time. He's getting a, oh, Shay Mitchell's also in this. Shay Mitchell plays his girlfriend, but he's getting an engagement ring. Her boyfriend is getting like a set of earrings or something from Tiffany's for Christmas. They have a collision, something happens, and they end up swapping their Tiffany's bags. So her boyfriend accidentally proposes to her, and he, who means to propose to his girlfriend, ends up giving her a pair of earrings. So now it's kind of like he's like, well, I want my ring back, but the boyfriend is like, he sees it on her finger and is like, excuse me, that is mine. It's like become this whole thing, and then they end up hanging out together and having a thing together, and yeah, so it was cute. Um, I'm, it just blows my mind that Zoe Dutch is, again, butchering her name. Sorry. Um, I just remember her from Vampire Academy, and like she seems so young, but like she's not. And in these roles, and like, I'm gonna forget how old she is. That she's like an actual adult. So this was good. Wasn't great. Most Christmas movies I watch aren't the greatest thing I've ever seen. Because they're cheesy, like Hallmarky movies, but this one was fun. I enjoyed it. I was watching it as I was decorating for Christmas. Next one we have is Must Love Christmas. This was Paramount Plus, I think. I don't remember what the hell these were all on. Again, actors I didn't know, except for her, Liza something. She was on a season of NCIS a long time ago. This was cute. This one was about an author. Yeah, she's kind of like a reclusive author. She doesn't really like being the center of attention. She's kind of like, she reminds me of Debbie Macomber, where she's that author that she's like just used. She's known for writing really good Christmas romance, like Hallmarky Christmas romances, and her current one, the ending is just not there. And her editor's like, it's missing that spark that you usually have at the end of your books. So I forget why she goes some town for some reason for a book signing or something. I don't remember. And then we have our hero who is a magazine editor or something, and he's looking for a next great story to help save this dying magazine. Typical. And wants to do a story on her. And then they get snowed in together someplace, and their worlds collide. And I remember enjoying this. It was cute. I was actually pleasantly surprised by it. I do mention it in a vlog. I don't remember which one, but I mentioned watching it in a vlog. So there's probably more um accurate information in the vlog, because I would have watched it more recently than I have at this time. That I don't remember a lot of it. Next we have About Fate. This is the other one that's similar to something from Tiffany. So About Fate, we have Emma Roberts. Britt Robertson plays her sister, her older sister. And I forget the other actor's name. I know him from something else, and I can't remember for the life of me who it is. I'm sorry. I apologize thoroughly for that. But so this one was similar in that Emma Roberts' character thinks that she's going to get proposed to by her boyfriend. They end up breaking up. Our hero, I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. It wants to propose to his girlfriend. So he proposed. It's the girl from fucking Riverdale. The girl from Riverdale, Madeline Pesh. Is that it? That's her name. Is his girlfriend. She's like a influencer or whatever on fucking YouTube or a TikTok or whatever the hell. And so he wants to propose to her, and she is like, okay, well, let's do it for the camera because my sponsors want to get, whatever. So he's kind of like put off by that. Um, she, so Britt Robertson, oh my God, I'm butchering this. I'm so sorry. Her older sister, Britt Robertson, is getting married. Emma Roberts' character keeps saying that she's going to bring her boyfriend with her to the wedding as her plus one. They think the boyfriend is just completely made up, that he's not going to happen. And so when they break up, she was like, oh my God, I'm going to ruin my sister's wedding. They're going to like they're going to find out exactly who I am. Like, what do I do? They run into each other outside the restaurant because it all happened at the same restaurant when she got broken up with and he tried to propose and got like pushed aside. And yeah, so they end up kind of like becoming like acquaintances and friends and just kind of being thrown running into each other all the time. And eventually she persuades him to be her plus one for her sister's wedding. It becomes a whole confusing thing. It's so fucking dark. I'm so sorry how dark it is. I'm gonna try to do this really fast because I'm almost done. But yeah, so, and then of course it becomes a tangled web we weave and all these things happen. And it was interesting. It was fun. Again, another one I was pleasantly surprised by. Not the most cinematic, greatest thing I've ever seen, but that's how Christmas movies are to me. They're just kind of like fun things to watch during the holidays, and I have high expectations for them. So the last one we have here is one I actually watched the other day. When I'm filming this, it was like the other day. Your Christmas or Mine. This is with Asa Butterfield, who, guys, I didn't know he was like in his 20s. I remember him being the little boy from fucking Tintin and from The Boy in the Striped Pajamas and whatever the hell else he was in. And then we have an actress that I didn't know, Cora something is her name. I've never seen her before in anything. We have a couple people from Downton Abbey are in this. It was fun. So it's kind of like they're best friends. They're secretly pining for each other, and then they part ways for Christmas. They're in college together. They part ways for Christmas, and then at the very last minute, they decide that they want to spend Christmas with the other one. So they ended up like one of them runs to the other train, the other one runs to the other train, and like they end up passing each other and ending up at each other's house without the person there. So she's at his big mansion and finds out he's an earl, or his father's an earl, and he's like a 300th and whatever to the line in line to the throne. And he's like super rich and never told her about it. And then he's with her crazy eccentric, super fun family, and yeah, they kind of have to figure out how to get back to each other. And it's cute. It is a very cute movie. I was pleasantly surprised by it. You gotta love the British. The British movies are the best. Like Love Actually, hello, The Holiday. They just have the fun. They're really really fun movies. So this one, oh man, I don't. it's probably going to end up going in the same spot, Good Not Great, just because it's whatever Christmas movie. And I don't know if it would be better than, you know what? I think we're going to put Downton Abbey up here because I feel like if I put this up in Okay I See You, I don't think it's better than Downton Abbey. But I think it's better than a lot of these other ones. I think it's better than these other Christmas movies, to be honest. So maybe I'll put this up here too. Okay, I See You. It was enjoyable. I'd watch it again. It was fun. It had David Bradley in it, who always plays these wacky characters. Super fun. So yeah, I think that's where it's gonna go. So this is my final ranking. I don't think I'm gonna move anyone else around. As you can see, I don't remember what my tier ranking was last year, but I know it's probably similar to this. I think there was more up here last year. But it makes sense. Like you want a nice bell curve for the most part when you do tier rankings. So we only had a couple like really, really exceptionally fantastic movies that I highly recommend everyone should watch. They're fantastic. They live in my head rent free. I will watch them over and over again. And these ones as well. This one I probably wouldn't watch again, but I would definitely watch this one again and this one again. Like I would watch these three again. This would probably be another like Christmas movie I'd watch again next year. And these ones were enjoyable for what they were. Secrets of Dumbledore I'd probably watch again at some point just because it's Jude Law. I fucking love Jude Law. But yeah, so these ones are kind of like I watched it, I'm over it. I don't need to watch it again. And Morbius was just like a waste of time. It was awful. So those are my rankings. Um, okay, it's still super dark. I'm so sorry. It's got so dark, and I didn't bother turning any lights on. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on any of these movies down below. If you've seen any of them, or if you would rank them a little bit differently, what have you. And all right, I will see you guys next time. And I think we're going to be doing TV shows next. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.